and it's called The Pirate Song. Do you remember us going over this piece with that poor lad in the water?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So I guess we should probably review the rhythm. Don't you think? Oh, Haydn wants to get out. He's not going to get out of his little Haza, of Esther Haza. So you know that the real true Haydn worked in a palace, and the palace was Esterhazy. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the family members were called the Esterhazys. They're the ones who paid for Haydn to work for them. So they lived in this gorgeous palace, which I really want to see someday, which is in the very lowest part of Austria, going into Hungary, way down there. It's supposed to be just this amazing castle. Oh, I got to go one day. We were so close. We played in Pécs in Hungary years ago and Budapest, and it's so close to the Esterhazy Castle, and we didn't get there, but next time we have to. And see Haydn's old haunts for sure. You got to go someday too. Absolutely.
Is it old now?
So
It's definitely old.
it's a yellowish building.
Yeah, it is a yellowish building. It's very beautiful. But it's so out of the way that it's hard to get to. So that's why you need to have a couple days just to reserve to go to that palace. So can you imagine how reclusive Haydn felt? Because it was so far away from the nearest city, from his family. So thank goodness he had a lot of musicians, right, that were at the palace, right? So they formed like a nice happy family together, which was great, you know. And the prince was very good to them, so that's excellent. He wasn't harsh and mean. Nicholas Esterhazy, he was really nice to them. I mean, he worked them hard, but he was good to them too. So
Is that where he wrote his what's this? It's not a symphony. It's a piece. Like once in a while, some people leave the stage.
oh yeah, it's the farewell symphony. And so they had been working for so long, so many months, maybe even a full year without any day off. And so Haydn, had a good personality, you know, and he said, how am I going to get the prince to let us have a break? And so in the farewell symphony, one by one, people from the orchestra finished their part and they left the stage.
I think in the story, I remember that wasn't the king instead of.
No, it was probably the prince because he lived with the prince.
But why did the story say?
Oh, that's for kids. They're almost the same thing.
Yeah, they're almost the same thing, right? And then finally at the end, I don't know who's at the end, a cellist or a violinist, and the prince just started to laugh. And he got Haydn's joke, and he said, "Okay, all right, I see that you all want to go home for a break. Now you can take a vacation." But isn't that a nice way for Haydn to remind his master that they had to take a little bit of a vacation? Can you imagine if you had to play morning, noon, and night, compose all this music? Oh my gosh, it would get tiring after a while.
Is it even longer than the Mozart? All of the movements put together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only 8 minutes.
It's only 8 minutes.
So funny. So in this pirate song, this pirate, maybe he's really lazy, or maybe those pirates that he's with are just not very nice. So they just say, if you don't do what we tell you to do, you are going to be a goner. We're going to throw you overboard. So, all right. So why don't we go ahead and try to sight read it? Because I know you're such a good sight reader. And I would like for us to just plan the piece before you sight read it. So the first note of the melody is in which hand? The very first pickup. It's in which hand? Yes, good. And then it moves to which hand? Yes. And then it moves back to the left hand there. Okay. And then you've got maybe a chorus of pirates singing. Yo ho, yo ho. Okay. And the right hand is going. So it's kind of keeping rhythm, right? And then your next melody begins on the same note as before, but you change your fingering. Do you see that? So in the beginning, your right hand has a second finger on the D, but when you get to this D, what finger moves to that note?
Wait, which D?
The second one, where the melody is on measure 6 and measure 8. Where's measure 8? The melody, the pickup in measure 8. Da, da, da. Yeah. Yeah. So what finger goes there?
1.
1. Okay. So let's go ahead and play the beginning of this piece and play only the melody. So you're not going to play any of the harmony. So we're going to hear it. Okay, and then if you want to go on, but it's both hands has the melody. Okay, so let's go ahead and play only the melody through the entire piece. That's very nice. And what are these intervals in measure 27, 28, and 29 in your left hand?
Third.
Yes.
Third and then fifth and then.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay, very good. So of course, you're going to bring out the melody throughout the whole piece. So let's say Pirate Song is something that you can record this week, all right, and be done with that book. Yay! Yay! All right.